Hey, welcome to Meadowbrook Homestead. I'm Bo Belutsky, and today we're going to be talking about a project that I did. It's a hot tub room. I retired from the military in 2014 after 30 years. Over the course of those 30 years, I had amassed quite a bit of personal injury, starting from having to have discs replaced to shoulder separations, dislocations, broken elbows, bursted bursa sacs, destroyed knees, and torn Achilles tendons. I was kind of a mess. In fact, when I retired, I was still in physical therapy for 3 days a week. So, with all of those physical ailments, we needed to take a look at some things that we would have to have in regards to therapeutic responses to pain. So Donna also had a few injuries herself, and so it made sense for us to start looking into getting water therapy, hot tub therapy. So in, I think it was 2016-ish, we started looking for a hot tub. The requirement was to have a hot tub big enough that our whole family at the time could fit in. So we were looking at 8 seats, roughly. So we finally decided on one, and we had put it on our spend plan. We had been saving since 2015 and had the money to buy it. So we did. Sometime in about the January timeframe of 2016, which, unbeknownst to me, meant that I would have to have a hot tub enclosure built for it within a couple of months. So this was built onto the deck that we had put onto the front of the house and the side of the house, and it had to be completed in a few weeks, basically. I've talked about this before. I was going back and forth to Hawaii for family emergencies. We also had local family emergencies here in the States. So my time was being used a lot outside of the property itself. So coming home and having projects to do usually meant that I was going to be out here regardless of what the weather looked like. So this enclosure was built in the rain and in the snow, and there's documentation to prove that. We're standing out here, snow flurries are coming down. I'm standing on a ladder, and it's raining. The wind's howling. So regardless of the weather, this had to be done. The way that this was done was I built 3 sides of this on the deck, leaving the front open so that this hot tub, which measures 9 feet by 10 feet in a rectangle, could get through the opening in the front, put in place, be powered, be tested, be accepted, and then I could build the front wall of the enclosure. So we were on a time crunch, had to get it done. We're out here sometimes till it was very, very dark. Had spotlights going to keep our work party in motion. It was 2 of us, my friend Brian Bratton and I, who built this from the ground up. And like I said, we had to do it quick. If I had more time, I would have done it differently, guaranteed, because I had to move quickly. It is what it is. And well, we seem to like it. Some of the materials that we needed to use on this was cedar, so it's encased on both sides with cedar. It's insulated walls, so to keep it fairly climatically controlled. There's no heating or air conditioning in here. It is just, we did put some insulation down on the floor, insulation in the ceiling, insulation in the wall. But other than that, it is susceptible to cold. It'll be, maybe 20 degrees warmer in here than it is outside, but it still can get very, very cold in here. Eventually, I'm going to put some type of an HVAC system in so that we can use this as a full-time, year-round place to sit, use, and have it as an additional family space. All of the materials I needed for this, I had to put on order. You can't just go out to Home Depot and say, give me all of your cedar tongue and groove planks, because they didn't have enough. So I had to order it. It was coming in from Washington State, and it was going to take quite a bit of time to get here. And that's kind of time that I didn't have. So as I'm doing my project management and putting everything into place for time frames, I'm working around all of these other things with let's just say emergencies as they popped up. But finally, I had all of the exterior cladding that I needed for this. I had all the metal roof ordered, and all of the other fasteners and things that I needed to do it. And we went to town. And a few days later, we have a 3-walled structure ready for that hot tub to come in here. So when the guys brought the hot tub in here, the front of this building was wide open. There was no deck railing on it, so they could get it in here. It took 5 guys to move this hot tub in here and situate it before we could apply power. It takes 220 power, so I needed to have a power panel put in. I had a friend of mine who did that, a local guy who did drop the power in here. And then also we did all the power in the ceiling for the lights. Once again, LED lights. We have a fan. We have 2 circulation vents in the ceiling, bathroom type circulation vents, and then front doors and windows. Getting all of the doors and windows wasn't a hard thing. I had a friend of mine who found some old glass doors, exterior doors, and we used those. We repurposed them to do the long windows in here. There are 3 of them. Actually, there are 4 of them because there's one on the back as well. And so he found these for me, and they were basically free, so I jumped at the chance to get it. All of the square windows were special order. I wanted them exactly that size. And then we wanted a panoramic view pretty much of the property from the hot tub. So everything kind of had to be as open as possible, yet as close to the elements as possible. Now, all of the trusses that were put up here, we built the trusses ourselves. I know I could have got someone to build them for me, but once again, I did not have the time. So we drew out a jig on the floor of the garage, of my garage, and we built trusses so that we could put the roof on, and we did that pretty much in record time. The trusses that we built have hurricane-proof joiners on them, and tons and tons and tons and tons of hardware to make sure that those trusses are solid. And with the winds and the snow load that we get out here, they had to be. I had to make sure that they were going to be able to hold up to the winds, the rain, and the snow. After building the enclosure, having the hot tub put in place, I wanted to put down some flooring here that would allow water to not pool or puddle, but also to not soak into the wood. Having water in wood that air can't get to is not a good combination. Although I did have pressure treated decking throughout, I did want to make sure that we had something that was somewhat breathable and forgiving, because it is a hot tub. There's going to be water, there's going to be steam, there's going to be a lot of water accumulated in here. So we laid down some rubberized flooring that provided us the opportunity to get it wet and let the water seep through and get out. And then also on top of that, we put some moisture barrier and also some wood flooring on the top. So there's a couple of layers of flooring. Is it overkill? I don't know. Bottom line is, I was kind of going along as I was going along, and it seems to be holding up great. We've been in this thing now for quite a few years. It's been here, and so far so good. Like I said earlier, I do want to get some HVAC in here so that we can use this as a full-time family area. We do, on occasion, have breakfast out here when family's here. We like to use this area just because there's more options for looking at the scenery, watching deers or porcupines run by, or just sitting back here and getting the sunshine through the windows. One of the things that kind of became almost a necessity was that I put in a stove, a propane stove. So I do have a propane stove in here that provides some heat, because we get visitors here all the time, friends and family, military people that we've known for decades who do come out here and visit us. When they come, we do like to use this area as our breakfast location. So I'll turn on the propane stove, get this room up to temp, and then we'll have breakfast out here on the table. We did get some good furniture that's impervious to the water. It's wood furniture that it's intended to shed the water and not be susceptible to any of that steam, vapor that we normally have here in the hot tub room. So the hot tub that we decided on was a Michael Phelps Legend Series, and it had enough seats for all of our family. It had a lot of jacuzzi jets, and it was going to provide us the therapeutic responses that we needed to work out the aches and pains and the normal knots and lumps that you can get in working on a homestead. So the Michael Phelps Legend Series was what we liked, what we chose, and we've been very happy with it. So the entire time that we've had it, we've had no issues whatsoever. It's a great purchase. It's a great hot tub. During the summertime, when it is in the 80s out here, Vermont weather in the summertime is beautiful, but I don't really find myself wanting to be in a hot tub. So what we do in the summertime is we let the water get down to in the 90 degree zone, and we call it our not tub. It's not hot, but it still provides us refreshing water therapy when we have a long day out and working outside. It's great to get in a hot tub, kick back, look out the windows, and play the music and enjoy the ends of the days. One of the other things we wanted to incorporate here in the hot tub room was a little taste of Vermont. Okay, of course, the wood paneling is Vermonty, but we had an idea. Donna actually had this idea of using this antique sled. This antique sled was a sled that she and her family actually used decades ago when she was a little girl. Donna's aunts had a home about 4 miles away from us here in Vermont, and they lived here since the 1930s. Donna and I used to come out here with our family over the course of our military career numerous times, and that's why we kind of fell in love with Vermont. Well, anyway, this sled itself was at Donna's aunt's house. Now, when we got this heirloom, I call it, we wanted to incorporate it. So Donna came up with this idea of using it as wall art and with a function. So we use it as a towel rack. There's a little shelf where we put knickknacks on it, but this has a tie to their family and a long tie. So I would imagine that this thing is easily 60 or maybe even 70 years old. So in addition, in the back, there's a piece of wood art that was made by a local artisan that was purchased by Donna's aunts decades ago. And the person who does this artwork is fairly well known here in Vermont for doing these. And so I guess they probably got that when he was just an up-and-comer, because trying to get one of those now, it's a little cost prohibitive for us. Okay. So in addition, we wanted to add some other Vermont-like things to the walls, just to give it some let's just say some character. And so we put these old antique snowshoes up on the wall here to add that character. So after we built this, one of our friends who was a longtime military friend of ours, got us this little plaque because it ties in with my Hawaiian heritage to our Vermont hata broom. And so it's the Belutski's Halewai, which is a house of water or water house. So they got that for us. We put it up on the wall. It matches perfectly, and it suits a couple of purposes, tying in my Hawaiian heritage with us being here in Vermont. So this is where we like to have breakfast when the temperature in here is up to par. And on the table itself, which we got locally from a Vermont artisan, the table that's pretty much impervious to water, we have some other things that are Pacific in nature. Driftwood basket with glass floaters, which are used for fishing nets in the South Pacific. So it does another thing that adds some Hawaiian color to us. If you notice, everything's kind of color coordinated, from our towels to these things to the sign, the Halewai sign, and the glass jars that are above the sled. And it's not my doing, because I don't care about color coordination, but Donna does. Once again, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button with the bell for notifications so that you'll be notified when we have new content or updated videos. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.